John Housladen, my guest. We're talking about their Keep Both Hands on the Wheel campaign. And, John, let's continue talking about that for just a couple of more minutes now. And we were talking off air a little bit during the break that the federal government is involved and has some input in this. How is that? Wow. What is their involvement as I stumble and fumble my way here?
Well, there's really a couple different fronts. The United States Secretary of Transportation, Ray LaHood, has made this a number one priority of his leadership time there at the department. And, in fact, they've started a new initiative, and you can find it on distraction.gov. That's a new website. They have a group akin to folks who've lost loved ones to drinking, like MAD. They have a new organization that is going to focus on people who've lost loved ones due to distracted driving. So major emphasis. And then even in the Congress, there have been bills introduced to ban cell phone use, ban texting, texting in particular. And so there's a keen interest in this topic federally. But like we say again, while those initiatives make sense, in a bigger picture, personal action, personal commitment is going to make the difference to this. And, you know, we in the trucking industry know that very well. We constantly work on improving. We have continuous education, safety training for our drivers, and that's why we've made this a focus.
Forgive me if you've already answered this question, John, but how long has the campaign been going on?
We just launched it last week, so we're just fresh out of the gate, and as we go through the year, we're going to provide tools, information, and messaging to our members to help get the word out, because one of the great tools, of course, is talking to your fine listeners on KNUJ, and that spreads the word. But we hope to have information at truck stops, at weigh scales, and frankly, just getting drivers talking to other drivers at coffee shops and cafes about what we can do to be safer. And we have on our website some resources already, and our website is mntruck.org, mntruck.org, mntruck.org. And we have a whole section there just on distracted driving and tools and resources. We even have sample cell phone use policies that trucking companies are using today. So if any of your listeners are a corporation, trucking or not, who want to look at, well, what kind of policy might we want to enact, we've got samples of that there as well. Yeah, but what I can tell you is it's an important issue, and Congressman Walz, who represents your area there, has an interest in this area. We actually got him in a truck here back at the last part of last year and showed him some of the technology that we do have, how we have advances that allow us to use some of that technology safely, and he's very keen and interested in this area. He sits on the Transportation Committee in the Congress, so he's a good man to have listening.
Oh, boy, I guess so. John, give us a little background on yourself and your involvement with the trucking industry.
I've been with the Trucking Association for 14 years, and I have to tell you, it's been a great ride. I love the industry because it's so important. In fact, if you look at the data, almost 7 out of 10 Minnesota communities rely exclusively on truck transportation for everything that moves in and out. It's dynamic. You know, we deal with environmental issues, safety issues, homeland security, technology from a satellite perspective, and so it's really fun to work for an industry that makes a difference, and the members who join us do it because they care, they want to be safer. I grew up in Waverly, Minnesota, and we could tune in your station way back when, and so I know what it's like to grow up in rural Minnesota and the values and what life is like out there. And, truck drivers are hardworking guys and gals, so it's fun to represent them.
All right. Anything else today, John, that we need to know either about the campaign or the Minnesota Trucking Association?
Well, just next week they're going to have a listening town hall meeting here in Minnesota where the U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Ray LaHood, and Congressman Jim Oberstar, who chairs the Transportation Committee, and a bunch of other heavyweights will be in town for the day talking about highway funding and the next federal transportation bill. And we know for rural Minnesota, having good funding to be able to keep that infrastructure and have those connector roadways that are your lifeline, they'll be talking about that, so I'm sure they'll be hearing more about that. But I would say in conclusion, trucking's safe, we can get safer. We think distracted driving needs to be a focus. We're urging our members to keep both hands on the wheel, and frankly, we think if everyone does that, they'll keep their eyes on the road and will make the road safer for everyone.
All right, let's all band together and use a little common sense and get those roadways safe.
All right, thank you.
John, we appreciate your time today. Thank you very much. Good luck with the campaign.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. John Hausladen, president of the Minnesota Truckers Association, joining me today on Community Affairs.